Previously on kface.
I just love that our paranoia is infecting the people that we care about in our lives outside of the show.
And I would say our own paranoia is at an all-time low. Like I've been...
No.
You're still paranoid?
No. Okay, we need to talk about this thing. This is maybe what we close on. Maybe a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, Eric brought up that he got a Slack message from somebody. And that he thought it was one of us because they didn't have a profile picture and it just seemed very suspicious, the timing of it. They said they work in the finance department. And I remember hearing Eric say this. I was like, that seems overly paranoid. That same person Slacked me yesterday. And I immediately went, this is a bit. This is a prank. Somebody's fucking with me. They're the most suspicious person without cause. I think it's our own paranoia I've ever interacted with. And every conversation I've had with them since then just makes me more paranoid. I don't think they're real. I kind of think they're real. They have to be real, but I'm pretty sure it's somebody.
Why are you talking to the finance
somebody
department?
from finance?
They reached out to me.
Why?
Let me. Okay, I'll pull up the fucking conversation. That's what. That was something that I thought was odd. I got to load into Slack, but yeah, it randomly appeared, and I remember thinking when Eric brought it up that's weird, and my first reaction was that's not a real person. This person doesn't exist. Somebody's fucking with me.
So you and Eric are both talking to a person, and you both believe they don't exist. And that you think that person you're talking to is, I don't know, me or Gavin or somebody else.
I'm not sure.
To what end would we be pranking you there?
I don't know. But it's just, they were a very suspicious. Here, I'm pulling up Slack right now. I got a message. This is, you know what honestly was the trigger word for me. This is what they messaged me. Yo, you don't know me, big fan. I work on the finance team. I don't trust the finance person that opens with yo. That seems very suspicious. I don't feel like that fits my concept of what that person would be.
I want to see if this person's messaged me. What's the name of the person?
Greg. I messaged Eric immediately that I'm now completely on board. This person is very suspicious.
Oh, they have messaged me.
That's interesting. And then I went into polite mode, so I just said, it's nice to meet you, Greg. And their next response was a screenshot of their conversation with Eric, saying that Eric thought that Greg was an Andrew Panton prank. And their response was, dude, I'm not sure I'm not an Andrew Panton prank. And then they told me, let me know if you want to use this smiley face, which I interpreted as like, fuck with Eric more through them. And I'm like, this person is a wild card. I don't know how to deal with this person. Because if they're saying to me that I can use them to fuck with Eric, then that means that they're open to being like fucking with me. It goes both ways. It's impossible to read.
I take back everything I said about paranoia.
Yeah. You seem incredibly paranoid right now.
I didn't realize you were allowed to have a Slack account without a picture on it.
I then said to them, respectfully, I'm not entirely sure you exist. And then their reply was, right back at you, bud, which is a super suspicious reply.
Work at a company where someone in finance is just screwing with us.
I then replied back to them because they're the most suspicious person I've ever met. I said, have you ever played Among Us? And they said, yeah. And I replied, do you get voted out first every game you play? I do not believe that you're a real person.
Oh.
I said, I want to believe you're real. And they replied, don't we all? And I was just like, I don't fucking know this is not a person. This is not a real person.
It's the kind of person you meet at a bar and then you go get them a drink and you come back and they're gone.
Yeah. It was a whole thing. They claimed the only thing that made me think that they were a person is I apologized if I was being overly paranoid, and they replied that they were in it for the chaos, and they said it's like visiting Sesame Street, and instead of meeting puppeteers, I turned into a puppet. Of like just thinking that they're part of some bit. This is like my Christmas version, but Eric has an update, I believe, on the extent of the realness of this individual.
This will have to take us out because we're way over time. But here's what happened with this back and forth. I apologize because I went, hey, because I got confirmation from our friend Lewis. I'm like, Lewis, who is Greg? And he said, this is Greg. Greg is a human man. And I'm like, I don't know, too close to Jeff. Still don't believe it. Our fearless leader, Jordan, emailed the whole company today with like, hey guys, here are some organizational updates. This person's going to be doing this and Tony's going to be doing this and blah, blah, blah. And the last line is talking about, and Greg will continue to be doing this, this, and this. And I messaged Andrew and I'm like, it can't possibly go this high. It can't. It can't possibly go to Jordan. It can't. There's no way. right?
I'll say this about Jordan. And Eric, I don't know if this will mean anything to you. Gavin, I don't think it'll mean anything to you. But Andrew, it's going to mean a lot to you. Jordan's favorite movie is Windy City Heat.
No.
Oh. Wow.
No.
When I told him you also loved Windy City Heat, it blew his mind.
It's a great
So
movie.
I guess don't stop worrying until someone at Warner starts talking about Greg.
I understand what you're saying about how it couldn't possibly go to the top, but our fearless leader, Jordan, has been involved in pranks throughout his career, the level of which we could probably not hope to achieve.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Not to add to your paranoia or fuel the flames of paranoia, but I wouldn't make an assumption that it couldn't go that high up, honestly. I also know the answer, so, you know.
Something I wanted to talk about. I don't think Gavin is aware of this. we have faced, speaking of celebrities, we have faced our own thing. Our own, what we've predicted has come true, Gavin. There's, are you, I know it's a terrible way of setting that up. What is the, fuck.
It's so fucking funny to me. This is so funny to me.
It's very funny. So,
I'm sure it is. You got to say it?
yeah, I'm getting there. Just give me a minute. John Cena is making a Peacekeeper podcast on the Rooster Teeth network.
Yeah.
And it was recently reported on by Variety. I'm going to just read
magazine.
The Variety, one of the high, I'd say the highest profile entertainment magazine in LA, in Hollywood, I would say. Is that wrong? It's definitely top 3.
Variety and Hollywood Reporter would be they're the only games in town.
They're the top ones. So it's a mention of that this podcast is going to be made by Rooster Teeth, and then in a part of it, there's an excerpt that says, other podcasts from Rooster Teeth produced from studios in LA and Austin, Texas include Face Jam, Off Topic, Black Box Down, Red Web, and the long-running Rooster Teeth podcast, which now numbers more than 500 episodes. We were left off that list. We were not included.
Man. Oh, I wonder why.
Really faced ourselves there.
I wonder if we should just run an ad for face on the John Cena podcast.
Can we do that? That'd be great if that's a thing we can do. I think going forward, any mention of Variety, Nick, make sure you bleep part of it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's bleep. We got to censor part of their name.
So like right now, I'm saying Variety, like that doesn't come through unbleeped.
No, there's at least a bleep in it. Any time.
We also should have bleeped all of.
No.
Yeah, let's bleep all of.
Going forward, this is how they'll be known.
The star Riety.
I just love the idea that this like prestigious Hollywood writer or company, whatever, they're looking at a list of things and that they have to decide if they're going to include face or not. The fact that there needs to be some level of dialogue at some stage of this process in which they need to either make the decision to include a podcast named face or not at all. When they didn't, which I get it, understand completely, but it's hilarious.
I told Andrew last night or whenever we talked about it, that it was kind of a perfect virtuous moment because I got so fucking infuriated, like furious, like I was going to yell at people upset that we weren't in it, that we didn't get, that we got one of the, which no offense to those other podcasts, they're all great, but we're larger than most of them. And we're doing very well for ourselves, considering our name and in spite of our name. And then I realized that this is why I wanted to name it Face, because I wanted to face ourselves, right? And the fact that I got so angry in such a brief little window of time because we were excluded from that moment means that the podcast... Yeah, I was actually angry. Means that the podcast is so successful that it means this much to me that it made me mad, which made me happy because then I thought, oh, so we've arrived. We've made it. We're successful enough that I'm mad when we don't get mentioned. So it was like a perfect moment where I went from anger to bliss like that.
I pause, Gavin. Let me continue from the story.
Okay.
Rooster Teeth also operates the Roost Podcast Network, which features partners such as the H3 Podcast, This Might Get Weird with Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart, Philip DeFranco's A Conversation With, and Kinda Funny. They name every other podcast, not even ones directly affiliated with, They name all of them. And to be clear, this isn't for me at all a thing of like, we deserve to be on there. That's why I'm annoyed by it. I love the idea just because of our name alone that we have to be in those conversations and they have to have meetings in which they include, do we talk about this?
Yeah, it's like reading that, we've been explicitly ignored. There's no way they could have missed us.
Undeniably excluded. Like, without a doubt.
Maybe they're just saving it. Maybe they're going to do an exclusive face interview, an article dedicated to the podcast, and they're just saving it.
Maybe when the director of the Tuxedo directs the Child Kicker movie, we can get into Variety through that. It'd be the perfect transition, a Hollywood connection. Oh boy. We're going to a lot of places here. So on the RT podcast at one point, it was brought up recently. It'd be funny because we have on the next episode of Jack Does at the end of these, where he guesses what will happen. And it was joked about that what if we did a previously on at the start of the episode? And so I thought, that's a funny idea. What if like I could get some weird person to do the previously on that no one would be able to know? Like it would become a mystery of who is the previously on. Because I loved Lost, and that was like a weird thing for a while with Lost, where people are like, who the fuck is the previously on Lost voice? And they kind of like kept it a mystery. So it's like, what would be a funny, nobody would be able to guess who is this voice? And so I reached out to the guy that wrote that Variety article that didn't include us. I was like, hey, can I ask you something? And I didn't know how to approach it. And we talked. Very nice. Todd's great. Todd's a great guy. He politely declined in doing the previously on, which is why I'm bringing it up now. But that is something all in the last two we recorded was constantly in my head of like, I want to talk about the fact that I talked to the guy that wrote that Variety article and never got to it.
Did he explain himself?
Yeah, explain himself.
No, I didn't ask that. I didn't ask why we weren't included. I brought up.
That's all the.
What's the point?
No, I don't really care why. I don't give a fuck if Variety includes us or not. It doesn't matter in any way to me, that aspect of it. What was funny to me about the Variety thing, as I said, was the fact that you would assume they would have to at least consider it. There'd be some form of conversation.
That's what it'd be good to know. Like, was he not provided the list? Was it someone in our company who didn't give it to him? Or was it he had it and didn't want to include it?
I don't care about that information.
But you do care. You talked about how funny it was, how you loved the idea that at some point he had to sit down and make a decision what to include and what not to, and what would be safe for Variety or not. And you had the man who had to make those decisions on the hook, and you didn't ask him about those decisions? That was the whole point of all of this. You don't make any sense.
No, I strongly disagree.
Every time you talk to anyone else, I'm disappointed.
No. Let me explain myself. If I get an answer to that question, it might no longer be funny anymore. If I just assume what happened, it's funny. If I continue to live in the world in which my assumption is correct, it's funny to me. And there's no risk of that changing. I don't really care that we weren't mentioned in the Variety thing. I don't give a fuck about what Variety thinks of this podcast. Doesn't matter to me. What's funny to me is that proper, like, established businesses that don't have that tone at all have to at least look at the name theoretically and then decide if they want to include it. I don't need confirmation for that. That's just, I'm deciding that's how that goes. I didn't care about that. I just thought it'd be really, because nobody would fucking guess it was the Variety guy doing the previously on. That would have been a great get.
Of course they wouldn't.
Would have been a fantastic get. So now I'm trying to think of somebody kind of tied to the show that is
Jackie Chan.
I don't think I should get Jackie Chan. I don't think Kevin Donovan would vouch for me, unfortunately, at this time. So I don't. That'd be a tough one.
Dusty Baker.
I thought about trying to get somebody in the Zimmer family, but then I thought, I don't know how they'd feel about the boys' Zimmer shirts and all that. I don't know necessarily if they'd love.
Yeah.
I'd hope they would, but I just don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of us laughing at their dead relative getting shoved into the ground head first.
I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was like an odd. Yeah, maybe not the greatest idea.
Nick said we should ask Pedro Martinez. I think that's a great idea. He is out and available. He's doing MLB commentary. He's used to recording. I bet he'd be super willing and available to do it.
Who do you think is more likely, Pedro Martinez or Coolio?
Well, we've been more pro Pedro Martinez than we have been Coolio. I feel like we
Are we
early
against
on
Coolio?
signaled that we were. No, but we seen that we were coming for him. We're coming to usurp
That's
his,
true.
Instagram
I forgot about that.
If Coolio did the previously on, he could end his previously on and just say, here it goes.
That's true.
Is that a Coolio song?
It's just the end of the, well, it's the beginning of Keenan and Kel, isn't it? Oh, here it goes.
Oh. For a thing that we've talked about like 8 times, I have no concept. I have no memory of any of the Coolio rap lines outside of Abbott and Costello were mentioned. And that might be it. I think that's all I remember about the Abbott, the Coolio rap.
Previously on Face.
I have a question for Andrew.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
What are you doing?
Like in this moment, or
No, just with Face in general. What have you done? What have you done to it?
I don't know what that means.
You're putting shit. Like, I'll get a review cut, right? It's not the final cut.
Oh.
You've been adding shit to it. You've been putting
That's
shit on
what I'm
after I get
talking
to
about.
it. What's the beginning? What's happened to the beginning of Face?
We've talked about it. It's a previously on. It's a previously on voice.
Yeah, but who is it? And
Well, that's what I figured would be a great mystery for you to find out. I thought, I don't know, maybe we could do like a thing where you could ask a question an episode or something about.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Can I ask
narrow
the
it down.
first question? Can I ask the
Yeah.
first question
Go ahead.
right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's the voice?
I can't say that. That's a bullshit game, Jeff. That's like asking a genie for more wishes. That doesn't count. It's illegal.
we were in the airport getting our luggage as part of our tour, and minor league fan Jack walked up to both of us and was like, "Who does the previously on voice on Face?" And Jeff and I were like, "Huh?" Because I just approved the first cut of the episode where there was no previously on voice, Andrew, and I was like, "Huh?" And I had to listen to the version that came out. Jeff and I listened to it, and we were just like looking at each other like, "What?" And then I started writing out a Slack, being like, "Does anyone like? How did this?" And then I realized this is a question for content. I'm not going to waste this over Slack, but it sounds like Andrew's not going to tell us.
No, it's a whole mystery.
Great.
I already established this. This is long established. It's not my fault. We talked about this before. I wanted to bring in the variety guy to do the voice, and that didn't pan out, so I kept at it. And
I do remember your idea being to have previously on Face, but it's the entire epised. Like it doesn't actually
it's the
previously.
It's just confusing. It makes
It's really
sense.
more of a currently, like presently happening on Face.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I was interested to see if you two could figure out who it is. It's somebody. I'll say it's someone in the universe of the show. I didn't just pull a random person. Everyone's aware of this person, and they're in our universe.
Is it the same person every episode?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, I already used my question for the week. So, Gavin, do you want to take one question?
Yeah. What do I want to know that he's going to answer though?
I will say I'd love to hear Eric's input. Eric is the only other person who knows who it is.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Can I have a hint?
I feel like I already gave.
I was gonna say I think you already got the hint with it's someone in,
It's
the,
in the
universe.
universe.
I feel like
So it's the variety guy, or it's the director of the tuxedo, or it's.
I mean he already said it's not the variety guy, right? So
It's the director of the tuxedo. That was fast.
Is that your official guess?
Is it the director of the tuxedo?
No.
So we get one guess per episode.
One guess per episode.
Brilliant.
We'll see how long it takes. I think it could take a while. I'm excited for this to all be over. I accidentally revealed who it is to Eric because I'm an idiot, and that'll be fun to talk about when we get to the end. I thought that Eric was a genius when I sent it to him. I'm just dumb. It's a dumb mistake. I was nervous though, Gavin. I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, what do you mean? What have I done?
Did you I guess I can't ask any more questions till next week. Damn it. I have so many questions. Okay.
Next week. Have an ongoing bit. It would be really funny if one of you would have just guessed it immediately. I would have ruined everything. All of my plans, everything out the window. No point for it.
Who have we talked about? Talked about so many people.
We've talked about a lot of people. A lot of discussion. I think maybe you should go over the Keenan and Kel rap. There's a lot of people there, just even within that.
Well, most people in that are dead, so.
That's true. But that would be one hell of a pull. If I got that.
Is that a thing where if Keenan and Kel rap about you, you will die soon?
No, I don't think so. Wait, Keenan and Kel didn't do the rap. It was Coolio.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'm not of your generation.
We have talked about it like 6 times on this show, though.
Yeah, whatever.
Regardless of generation.
If you got Coolio to do it, it would be amazing.
That would be really cool.
Does not sound like Coolio.
What if I'm not going to give anything away?
Well, let's hurry up and finish this episode because we're double recording today, so I can ask another question in 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna start preparing my next guess.
So
between that event and the previously on face, I said to Jeff yesterday, I was like, man, while we were on tour, this podcast really got away from us.
He was like, we got to figure out what's going on.
the previously on working as you still have your questions for the previously on.
Oh shit!
So we could
We
do
got
that.
new
So
guests.
Questions for the previously on.
Okay. I have my first question. Can I ask my question?
Absolutely.
Have I ever met this person in real life in my life?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. That's my question.
Is it the lawyer guy? Is it your first legal team or
No.
our legal team?
No.
Eric,
no,
Eric, you get a question.
No, he knows. He
I
can't.
already know the answer.
Oh, well,
What about
then ask a really good question. Nick.
Nick is typing.
I
Nick
think
knows
those two.
too.
Eric, you blabbermouth.
You leaked it to Nick?
I don't remember.
damn.
Did I tell Nick?
You son of a bitch.
I don't
weird
think,
because-
I don't remember telling Nick.
We're
I
usually so good
definitely
at
didn't tell Nick.
communicating this stuff.
I really don't remember telling
We
Nick about
are
who
a
the
dumpster
previously
fire.
on is. Who? Wait, when would I tell Nick?
I don't know.
I refuse. I
Well,
refuse
no.
to believe this
No.
was my fault.
Okay.
No.
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 I could be wrong.
How else?
I
did Nick-
what? Hang on. Hang on. This guy never talks on the podcast and just unmuted to say I could be wrong.
He's gonna have to record a pickup for himself there.
Okay. You're gonna message me directly, Nick, who you think it is.
Yeah, this is
Can't
good.
say it.
This will know. Yeah. Go ahead and slack Andrew who you think.
Slack me right
Jeff
now who
and
you
I-
think it is.
Jeff and I could deafen.
No. Don't trust it.
Oh no. We'll cheat.
See, Nick
I'll
messaging
definitely
me.
cheat.
No, I'll tell you what. I panicked and I said yes. I do not know who it is. I was like, I gotta
Wait,
hit
he
record.
doesn't know who it is.
What are you talking
I
about?
thought you didn't remember where you heard it, but you don't know?
Absolved.
No, I totally. I had a moment of like, hey,
I
I'll just say I know,
apologize.
so I don't have to turn on this mic and do all this stuff. And now the lie's gone too far. It's gone too far.
Is it too deep? All right, well now you can give a guess.
Yeah, now you got to ask your
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
Oh, is it? Is not the person who wrote the Variety article? Is it?
Oh my
It's
god.
not. No.
He wasn't. Nick wasn't here for the last episode. Nick wasn't here for the last episode.
Oh, really? I was about to say maybe there's a reason
Yes.
Nick doesn't talk.
You
The last.
called up a pinch hitter and he just left. He just
I
went
can't
home. is what
imagine
happened.
being a fan of this podcast. The last 15 minutes have been insane.
This is a good example of the communication thing.
Dude, we're falling apart. We're 100 episodes in, we're worse than ever.
We need to release a supplemental contact like Eric does his job that's just face communicates. Ay.
Good vibes. I want a new guess at the previously on voice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
Let's do the previously on guesses.
Jeff, have you thought of a new guess?
Is it?
Go ahead. You're allowed to ask a question as well. Don't forget. You had a question and a guess.
Oh, okay. Is it a public figure?
No.
Okay.
Is it someone? Oh, did I ask this last time? Is it someone we've heard on the show before? Did I ask that?
Someone you've heard on the show. Could you be a little bit more specific?
Has their voice been in an episode of Face?
No.
Oh God, I have no. Oh,
And it's been very fun to see the guesses. There have been a lot of posts and different threads about who the voice could be. It's been very entertaining to follow.
Is it? My guess will be it's somebody from My Hubby's Bagels.
That's your guess? Your official guess? No, that is incorrect.
Okay.
is it a descendant of the inventor of the butt plug?
You don't get another question. you need to, unless that's who you're guessing.
That's my guess.
I don't know the ancestry of the butt plug inventor, so I don't feel comfortable giving you an answer to that. I would assume no. I would be shocked if that was the case, but there have been weirder coincidences with this show, so I don't feel like I could fully rule it out. But highly unlikely. You guys have to go again next episode. We do. We're still looking. It's been crazy. Some of the guesses, I am seeing guesses from people that are way more creative than I could have ever come up with.
So let me ask you this, as not as an official question, but just as a conversation. Has anyone in the has a comment leaver got it right?
Nobody has gotten it exactly right.
Oh,
That's interesting. There's
been some people that I'm like, wow, I'm surprised you're that close. But yeah, there's not been a definitive correct guess as of yet.
This could at this rate, we're going to be all the way up to 200 before we get there.
I feel like you guys asked some great questions and really narrowed it down.
It's an unsolvable riddle.
I'm going to need a running document, though, of everything we know before I make
That
each
is a
guess, 'cause
problem,
it's going to be
'cause I
hard
also
to keep
don't-
track of.
I don't remember everybody you've guessed. Never mind the questions. But
Yeah.
my favorite one, I think, is Nick. Some people thought it was Nick. Could you imagine how wild of and just bad? It'd be such a lame reveal if it's just Nick.
What's lame about Nick?
Well, it's just he's in every, like, there'd just be such a strange thing. And nothing against Nick. Nick is great. I love Nick. Nick's fantastic. But it just teasing, it'd be like if I had you do the voice, Gavin. What a lame reveal that would be.
Is it Gavin?
Is it me?
Is it you?
Oh, we need to guess another for the previously on guy.
That's a great point. I had that in my notes. Do you two have any questions you would like to ask before making your guess?
Seeing a lot of comment leavers say it's like Caleb or Drew Saplin. It's neither of them.
Neither of those. I don't think I've ever heard this voice before.
It sounds like someone from the West Coast.
Okay. I mean, are you just stating that? Is that a question for me?
No.
Or okay, you're speaking out loud.
I sort of have forgotten the questions I've already asked about it.
Yeah, it's rough doing this every couple weeks. All right, Gav, you go first.
Can I have an official question first?
I don't know what that means. Yeah, of course. You can ask a question and then you can make your guess.
What season of Face are they a part of?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you expect me to remember the catalog, our absurd season system? We're in season 4 right now, correct?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would assume that they were in season 2.
Okay. So
Okay.
pretty early on.
But I feel like season 2 went on a long time. I feel like that's covering a lot of ground. Season 3 was, 3 episodes? So.
I don't even think it, yeah.
Is it Roadmaster 74?
I don't even... Who is Roadmaster 74?
I don't know. I remember Jeff saying it.
No, it is not Roadmaster 74. Jeff, do you have any questions?
I mean, I would like to know who Roadmaster 74 even fucking is and why I would have said
So
that
would I.
name.
I only know that name because you were like, I'm going to say Roadmaster 74. I'm going to keep saying his name, Roadmaster 74, and then you immediately got his name wrong in like the next time you mentioned it.
Is it somebody who appeared on the Face Christmas album?
No.
Okay.
Oh, were they in Fluke Face?
Can't ask 2 questions. You
Ah,
already asked.
shit.
You asked earlier.
Remind me to ask that next time.
Okay.
Is it the person who? Because I can now ask. So that was my question. Now can I make my
your
guess?
You can make your guess.
I guess it's the person who played Gavin in the Fluke Face recording.
that was a
That
female
was a
voice.
Welsh woman.
Yeah, so that's a no. That's a no on that one. But I appreciate your shot.
Damn.
I think you could argue that was the worst guess by far. Like as well as
Oh, I don't think there's who's arguing.
I was gonna say, I feel like you asked the same question back to back, or Gavin wasn't. There's something where you guys both asked the same question. I think that was worse than that.
No, that was one where Nick asked the same.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, 'cause Nick missed it. So since do you wanna ask your questions now, since it's fresh in your mind? Another episode, another 2 guesses for you both.
Yeah, Gavin, you can go first.
Was this person in Fluke Face?
No,
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
you need to come up with like a list of possible people. Do you have a question, Jeff, that you'd like to ask? Then maybe it will help Gavin with his guess.
I can't. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to remember what we've already asked. I want to ask, but I'm scared I've already asked.
Okay.
If they're related to, if they're like one of the online lawyers, if they're related to that whole segment.
I also don't remember if you've asked that, but I'll just say no, they're not.
Okay.
I might have to give another clue out with the rate we're currently going.
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Why? You're putting me on the spot. I don't want to just give it away with a clue. I don't trust myself to not give a very... I will say, okay, so a previous question you had asked was, has anybody gotten this correct yet? There have been lots of comments about it. And I said, not fully. That is no longer the case. One person has made a completely correct guess as far as what this is.
I might have to sift through comments.
So season 2...
Can I tell you the worst guess that anyone's made so far?
Is it the one I made last?
No, it's actually worse. This is I'd be impressed if you had a worse guess than this one. And this was done in a message that was very sweet. So it wasn't like a bit. They didn't have an awareness of this, and I didn't know how to reply to it. They guessed that the voice was Norm Macdonald.
What?
Well, A, dead. B, exceptionally distinctive voice and cadence.
Mm-hmm. That's a double layered. It's the worst guess by far. If I was able to get somebody who is dead to do the previously on, could you imagine bringing somebody back to just do a previously on voice? That was why they came back.
I mean, the previously on voice, the guy sounds like he's got a surfboard in his hands. And
Really?
that's not what Norm Macdonald sounds like.
No, it does not. But that's been my favorite of the worst guesses I've gotten by far. So that being said, do you have a guess, Jeff?
Is it Billy Ripken?
It's not. I wish it'd be a great one though.
Yeah, I know it's not. It's way too young. I just don't know what else to ask.
Yeah, that's fair.
Process of elimination.
Totally. We should probably write down your questions and guesses throughout this. I also appreciate that you went with one that I think you already asked when Nick wrote out a much better guess that you just didn't use while you were saying it.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the Discord. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I think it sounds too young to be your barber. I considered that as well.
Interesting.
Because your barber's like 105.
No, that was my old one. I got a new guy. Much
okay.
younger. I swapped out.
Gav, do you want to ask a question? You can still make a guess.
Was it a delivery driver that you've had in the past?
No, it's not. I thought you already guessed too. That's how much these popsicles have taken out of me.
No, I asked a question. I don't think I guessed.
Okay.
He didn't make a
I'm
guess.
still gathering from that.
Oof.
But speaking of segments that we do, we fucked up last episode. We're idiots. We did not make any guesses as to who the previously on voice is. I know Eric has compiled a document for you guys. He's got the information. He just posted in the chat. This cannot just endlessly go on. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the two of you because you have information, you have research, you have the notes in front of you now. You should be able to solve this. If you are not able to get it, I'll give you 3 more episodes, not including this one, 3 more. You do not get it within those 3. I'm just never going to tell you.
Oh, you're a bastard. Why don't you give us another clue?
Okay. A clue.
Should we quickly read out the guesses, or do people?
Yeah. Why don't you go through the guesses?
Guesses so far. Nick, Flukeface Jeff, Flukeface Andrew, the naming genius / the Akinator, the lawyer from Higher Judge, Peter in brackets Waffle P, Jake, Garfield Kart Furious Racing Champion, Chris called at the end of episode 14 and did the outro, Caleb, Drew Saplin, Ian, Trevor, McDonald's Piss Lady, Don Zimmer's son, Humpty Dumpty, Billy Ripkin, and a Nemo firefighter. I don't remember half of those.
I don't either.
I feel like you guys must have just like shotgun guesses. I guess we haven't done that many episodes worth of guesses.
These are all confirmed guesses across the board, including some guesses from listeners that Andrew has.
I see.
Well, I guess they're comment.
Okay.
They've
excellent.
made guesses,
So this is-
and Andrew
this
has
is even
confirmed
giving you
it's
help.
none of those people.
This is even gives you more help.
Yeah, we gave you
Okay.
some here.
I'll give you a clue. So what is? I wish I had a list of what you've said so far. I feel like we've gone into. You've asked if they're a public figure, and I said no. We have gone into that. I will say that I met them through this show.
You met them through the show, and it was in season 2.
Yes, I believe so. I should go back and confirm that. I believe it was season 2.
Met them through this show.
Met them through this. If this show didn't exist, I would have never crossed paths with them.
Oh, what about the guy that slacked us?
Which guy?
There was a guy who...
Are you saying, is it Greg from accounting?
Yeah.
Is that your guess?
Greg from accounting is an incorrect guess.
I wouldn't guess that because he doesn't work here anymore. He switched companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why you don't hear from Greg from accounting anymore for like the last year.
But that... okay.
Greg not from accounting. Greg from other accounting. What was that?
I'm gonna say I'm going like Jeopardy rules. You need to be correct with the. I'm not implying that is the correct answer, and you just phrased it wrong. But
You need to be correct as opposed to incorrect?
Yeah, it needs to be. You have to have the name of the thing correctly displayed.
The name of the thing.
Or the person.
Why are you phrasing it like a weirdo?
Well, okay, so like if you guessed the director from The Tuxedo, I would not accept that. But if you said Kevin Donovan, I would accept that.
Oh.
So you may be correct.
Wait, why was that not on the guest list? Because we guessed him, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. How?
It's a shitty list, Eric.
Hold on. So is it? Do we know? Do Gavin and I both know this person's name?
You're allowed to get. Yes.
Do we have to do research to find out their name?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You both know. Well, I don't know the answer.
I mean, you're saying yeah to a lot of stuff here that's confusing the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the answer to that question. You should.
Yeah, Jeff.
I will say this. Fuck. Well, now I don't know what to do. Eric, can I have a ruling on this? I would consider. What? How do I?
You listen. You worked yourself into this corner, buddy.
Well, no,
I
feel like we've talked about this. I feel like under Jeopardy rules, I don't think they've got it right. Would you agree with that?
I don't think we ever talked about Jeopardy rules. Ever.
No, but we've talked about people have made guesses and it's like close, but not exactly. What's the rule?
Well, surely,
on this?
if we've said the person and it's that person, we win.
But it's not. You haven't technically said the person.
But
this is where I can't listen. I need to be not involved in this now because now it's becoming an Andrew thing, and I don't want anything to do with it.
No. It seemed like we've not been close in any way. Are you saying that we might have it?
You are so close, but not quite right. But you're so.
My God.
This is
so
why
close.
I'm saying you have to separate me from this because now this is an Andrew thing. I can't be a part of this.
Thing? We've talked about this. We've talked about this. You've agreed with this.
I don't want anything to do with this now.
You've agreed with this offline.
He keeps muting it.
No, because now he starts talking. Now he's talking about Jeopardy rules and all this other stuff, and I can't be a part of this anymore.
Well, you've agreed already, though. That's what I. Okay, whatever.
Andrew, let me ask you this.
Okay.
When we said someone,
yep,
to you,
yep,
was that the person?
In what context? Sorry.
What was it?
In the context of the fucking contest! What do you mean, what context? Did we guess the fucking person? Oh my God, what a stupid thing to say!
Well, I don't know what you mean by that. You guessed. What? Calm down. You got. I'm gonna rework what Gavin just asked me, and explain it. You've gotten the name right. You haven't
got the name right.
You got the name right, but not their actual role. If they were a character, it would be like if you said Bat Guy and you meant Batman.
Greg from. Was he not an accountant?
Yeah, there's a specific title.
I'm searching Slack. Greg. Oh, Greg. Well, there's a lot of Gregs that don't work here anymore. Not that one. I know that one. Is it that one? No, that one never talked to me. Hold on. What about this one? No, he's never said a word to me. Greg. Oh, what about that one?
This is pivoted. I feel betrayed by Eric in this moment. I feel like this is a great betrayal.
Andrew, at this point, you are
this
so
is a great betrayal by Eric.
You want to talk about being in the deep end of water? You're treading, man.
No, I am in a 4-foot
so
hot tub and I can see the floor. It is clear. I am comfortable.
I mean, I know the dudes
from finance and strategy.
He got it. Gavin got it. Greg in finance.
Oh, God. You are a
the
real
name.
pedantic
That's
stickler
the-
bastard.
Well, I guided
guy
you
you
to
should have
it.
just said yes when I guessed Greg.
No, you said Greg from accounting. That's
I didn't even
different
say
than
Greg. I
and
said that guy who slacked us. You're the one who filled it into Greg.
Oh, I
Accounting
did. I
and
don't even
financing
remember
is the
that.
same fucking thing,
But
dude.
they're
It's the same
different
department in the
work.
company.
It's a different nickname. It's a different.
See, this is why I couldn't be a part of it anymore
No,
because I knew you got it. And I
no,
went, now it's too ticky-tacky. Can't touch it.
No, it's not. Let me fucking go into our Slack chat because Eric and I have talked about. I'm like, so many people have been so close, but not exact. And you're like, yeah, it's crazy. Everyone's so close.
I would send the guesses to Greg that guessed him, and then he would downvote them in the subreddit.
Jesus Christ. Well, how's Greg doing?
I didn't know he didn't work at the company anymore. I
Oh,
had no
I'm
idea.
having an issue with payroll or something. You go in. It's like, oh, you in accounting? He's like, no, I'm in finance. And you're like, okay, bye.
I agreed.
Sorry, I'm not
same,
Greg from payroll. I'm Greg from accounting.
But I was trying to be.
What do
very
you guys do
specific.
here in accounting? We handle payroll.
Oh, jeez.
This is why I couldn't get on board with this. As soon as you
No,
said Greg, I'm like,
no.
yeah, they got it. And then
if
Andrew
I-
went,
no, if
Jeopardy
I-
rules.
He wanted it to last in three
No.
more episodes.
No,
Yeah,
if
no
I,
kidding.
If I showed
Imagine
you,
trying to guess Greg again at that point. Like,
Yeah, I
would
would've
you
thought-
have ever come back to that? Never.
If I
said it
fuck
wasn't him.
no time out. If I put a poster of fucking Superman on the wall and I say who's that character and you say Super Guy, that's not correct. That is an incorrect guess.
If I had to pick him out of a lineup and you said Super Guy, I'd probably think you were talking about Superman. If he was stood next to the
But you're
Blob
making me do
and-
the leap. You're making me do. That's not a correct guess.
That's a
Not
correct
correct.
guess.
Hey, Jeff,
Yeah.
was this worth it?
No. Greg in financing and Greg in accounting are the same person. We know that. We know who that it's the only person who filled that role
It's a
with the name
difference
Greg in
between-
this company. You are arguing. You are being pedantic right now, and you are arguing semantics. He clearly,
What a move
clearly,
to say
clearly, clearly guessed the right person.
Greg.
You,
This is not-
Andrew. I wish there was something. I wish we had a verb that was stronger than salad cream. Like I wish there was something above salad cream for what you've just done. Not only to Gavin, not only to I, but to the entire community.
First of all, you're the biggest technicality guy I know. You're always Googling the fucking dictionary whenever anything comes up. I don't want to hear semantics by you, the dictionary fucking kid. I don't want to hear it. Second of all, there was a long pause. If you listen to the tape, I was in a real pickle in that moment. I didn't know what to say. I
Right,
was
and you
truly,
went the wrong way.
well,
You
I
went
feel
the
like
wrong
after
way.
6 episodes, if you guess Super Guy for Superman, that's kind of like that's not great. So then I guided because I did
We
feel
said
bad.
his name.
But you got it wrong. That's not his title. It's not his character name. He's Greg in finance is the character. Greg in accounting is not the same as Greg in finance. I understand it's the same profession. It's not the same within the context of what the name is. Oh my god. You're right though. You won. Congratulations.
That's like someone, apparently on this list, someone guessed Humpty Dumpty. That's like guessing Humpty Dumpty, but not specifying the egg from the wall.
No,
He's like, no,
that's
technically his name is
completely-
Sir
you
Humpty
are
Dumpty. He was knighted, so you don't have the
ridiculous.
full title.
I had to distance myself as soon as he said, if you were to guess the director of the tuxedo but didn't guess him by name, I'm like, that's the craziest.
No,
That's like so nuts.
Jeopardy rules.
You gotta specify that at the beginning, you fool.
Yeah,
Why do I have to specify that at the beginning?
You
It hasn't come up.
don't create the rule set on week 7 of the fucking contest,
Well,
dude.
okay. To be fair to me, I didn't feel the rules were important when you kept making the same fucking guess 3 weeks in a row.
Well,
the
one
rules
of our
didn't seem
guesses
vital.
Was Caleb. If it was him, would we have had to have guessed Caleb, a little screen-looking bastard? Like, what are we supposed to do?
No. Caleb is fine. Caleb is no. Greg in finance is a specifically known character now.
Oh,
It's
man, the return
specific.
of Greg in finance. What an awesome way to end this episode. Thank you for sticking with us and listening to another episode of the Face Podcast. If you made it this far, you got hard hard fucked by Andrew. So did we. Go ahead and leave us a review if you don't mind. I hope you don't knock a star off because of that. I assume it was all in good fun, or he's a fucking lunatic. I don't know. See you next time.
I'd like to pivot for a minute to something else and just own up, because I'm an accountability guy. I want to own up to the fact that I was wrong. I was wrong last week. I was in the wrong. I handled the name thing incorrectly. I apologize. I apologize to you both. I wanted to give my perspective on it, because I thought about it. I put some time in, really think about the situation as a whole.
You were so wrong. This apology is annoying me.
No, I couldn't have been more in the wrong. Why are you annoyed by my apology?
It's just bringing it up again.
Well, because
Greg from
Greg from
I had
Finance.
no idea what you were talking about. I had completely forgot about that.
Were
Greg
you
from
just
accounting.
sitting silently? Like
Yeah,
while he
I was just trying to put it.
Okay.
I was just trying to put it together and be like, "What fucking name thing?" And then Nick said Jeopardy rules, and I was like, "Oh, did we do a Jeopardy?" And I was just out of it. All right, sorry. Yeah, that's
Andrew,
right. You were a bit of a dick about the name thing.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate the apology, because I was getting riled up with.
You're right. You're right. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous position to have and to hold. What happened was I was so excited about the thing, and I thought, we're going to give clues. We're going to make this, we're really going to turn up the heat in these next 3 episodes. Will you guys figure out the name? Will you not? We will find out. I give one clue, and Gavin immediately gets it. And I was on tilt. I was on tilt from that moment forward, and I didn't want it to end. But I also deep down knew that you guys would never fairly guess Greg again in a different context.
So I taken 700 more episodes before we realized how close we were.
I also never, in my head, I had the Jeopardy rules. I never established those. That's unfair of me. If I would have, from the beginning, stated that, I think that'd be fair, but that was unfair of me. So I just wanted, I put some thought into it, and I've been haunted by that moment since we recorded, not because of that itself. That was I processed, I realized I was wrong. I handled that poorly. What has haunted me is Jeff was coming at me, and I was getting mad at Jeff, and we're going back and forth. And I called you the dictionary kid, which is the dumbest thing I may have said on the show. And as soon as I said it, I winced, and I have not been able to stop thinking about the fact I said dictionary, and I couldn't think of, I was thinking piss boy. I was like, where should I go with this? I need another word off of dictionary, and kid came out. And that's an apology to the audience that I said dictionary kid, because I've been suffering.
Got a big laugh though.
I've been suffering.
Oh,
well, maybe you did, but it was such a lame
laughing at, not laughing at.
Yeah, it was a bad. It was a bad moment.
Well,
I'm typically good under fire, but
enjoy the next 7 days, because that's how long you have until that episode comes out.
oh, great, that's fine. I'm sure
Dude.
people will be mad, but that's okay.
When you said
that's on me. I fucked that up.
When you said dictionary kid, it reminded me, when you said it, it sounded like the name of like a late 60s, early 70s Disney made-for-TV movie.
did.
And I wanted to bring that up, but I didn't get a chance.
I genuinely winced as soon as I said it, and I had thoughts about asking Nick to remove it from the edit, but I was like, that's so bad. I gotta live with that. As I was thinking piss boy and what's something that like is like boy, and this kid came out. It was an unfortunate moment, but I'm happy to get past it. And I guess I should now talk about how I may have killed somebody, which was the point of how this started.
Yeah. Well, before you do that, let me just say
go ahead.
that was
Yeah.
that was an extremely regulation apology.
Thank you.
And I would like to provide. I would like to accept it in the most regulation of ways.
I appreciate that. First of all, I agree with you. Second of all, you just absolutely Gregged it. You Gregged it. When I went back, when I did the Jeopardy rules but didn't vocalize it, but that's how it was in my head. You can't just add rules after they played. You can't do that. I think Jeff gets one more guess.